So in Garry's mod, one of the things I always try to aim for when it comes to mod showcases is I love to look at things that increase the immersion. In fact, when VR came out, it was one of my most anticipated new technologies ever. Because the closer we get to severing that tie between you, the player, and the game, it really does ask some very hard questions like, what even is reality? What if we could make our own reality? Some pretty compelling stuff, but we're not gonna be anywhere near that today. However, there is a certain mod that overhauls the immersion rate past 11, and that is called VManip. So we've taken a look at a lot of VManip mods in the past, and the best thing about VManip is that so many creators can collab together to enhance the experience of Garry's mod. So I downloaded a bunch of things today. Every major VManip edition that I think makes sense for a video, but you want to know what else has a lot of things in it? Sponsor to today's video, Deal Dash. So what is Deal Dash? Well, Deal Dash is an auction website that you can use to bid on a bunch of different things. Pretty much anything you can think of, from phones to cameras or anything in between. And Deal Dash is not new. These guys have been around for the last 15 years. And of course, there's always tons of auctions going on at any given time. And some of the prices that the people on this app have paid for some of these products is absolutely incredible. Like an iPad mini that sold for just $13. Kind of ridiculous. Or hey, even a brand new Xbox for 45 bucks. Now you might be wondering, how do you even get started on this app? And it's pretty simple. So you pay up front to bid, and then once you get your bids, you're ready to jump in. But the interesting thing is that every time you bid, or anyone else does, it only raises the price by a penny. From 10 seconds, the timer will count down, and if no one bids except for you during that time, you are the winner and you win the item. Now don't worry, because if for some reason you run out of bids and you really did want that item, there's a buy it now feature, and that's going to return you all the bids that you placed on that item back into your account. Now I'm gonna be honest, I'm not big on like these bidding websites or these bidding apps, but I had a lot of fun with this one, and one of the things that I really liked about Deal Dash is that if you don't win an auction using your bids, or you just don't enjoy the experience, you can reach out to them and they'll give you back your money on your first bid pack purchase. And of course, I do got a code down there to hook you guys up with 100 extra free bids with your first bid pack purchase. I want to thank Deal Dash for sponsoring this video. Now on to the showcase. Alright, so let's get right into it. So like I said, a bunch of VManip related add-ons all in one single video, so you guys don't have to watch like 5 or 6 of my videos to get the mods you want. It's all going to be in one place. And of course, first up we have VManip flashlight. So now when you press F, you're going to take your hand off the gun if it's a two-handed weapon, and you're going to use that hand to hold a flashlight. And I think this is super cool. Again, the thing about VManip that really just kind of blows me away is how seamless it works with the things already present in game. For instance, look at this. Our AR2, it's one-handed. Put the flashlight away, our hand creeps back up. And then of course with one-handed things, you don't need to worry about it because, well, the hand's already free. So this is not only an upgraded flashlight because, well, you get those cool animations, but it even looks better. And of course there's even a further version, so if you want your flashlight to go further, like we can see here, it doesn't go all that far. There's even a version of the VManip flashlight to go farther. So tons of options. That's kind of the whole point of VManip here. So now we're going to talk about contextual animations, and I did do a video on this, but I'm going to briefly go over it just so you guys don't have to watch an entire video to see it. Now be mindful that you don't want to have multiple VManip things going on at once. For instance, we don't want our flashlight out when we're doing this because, well, we have our hand on our throat as we're being choked by the barnacle. Now sadly, there are no third-person animations for this, so as we can see, we just get pulled in. But don't worry, because there is a mod for that as well. Next up we have explosives, so obviously you're going to react when you're near something that goes boom. So let's go ahead and see what this looks like. So now, when you're near an explosion, you'll put your hand up in recoil. And I also recommend not having an FOV mod installed because the FOV is going to be changing rapidly. Alright, let's go ahead and see how this looks now. I think I was a little too close. I mean, you guys get the gist of it though. Let's go ahead and toss a grenade. And there it is. Looks freaking awesome. Next up, what about swimming? Well, now when you're in water, you're going to use your open hand to paddle through the water. And all of this, by the way, is in one single mod, which is pretty awesome. And then last up for the contextual animations, we have voice chat. As you can see, it's kind of hard to see, but we are putting our open hand over our shoulder as if we have like a walkie-talkie or something there to talk through in-game. Super cool stuff. Alright, so what about kicking? So obviously we've seen this one before as well. I've done an entire video on it. Now you can kick things and it actually looks really good. You'll even use the foot of whatever player model you're using. And honestly, we've seen a lot of kicking mods in the past. And also, what the hell is this? I've never seen Odessa have an orange beanie before. Is this some kind of glitch? Definitely kind of strange. You know what? Actually, all the beanies look kind of weird. I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, now we can kick Odessa if you really want. And yes, of course, you can even kick open doors. Oh hey, look, everything's still here. Now sometimes you want to crank things up to 11, and that's when you activate the admin only mode. Just be very careful what you kick. Alright, so after getting absolutely blasted and destroying my entire apartment, I could definitely use a pick-me-up, and that's where the VManip combat stims come into play. You now have a broad selection of different effects and a bunch of cool things. Once again, I did do a video on this one as well, but there are over 20 different ones you can pick, and the animations just look absolutely awesome. Or maybe you have trouble seeing in the dark, and that is where the VManip night vision comes into play. So obviously there's not really a very dark area on this map, but if you do find yourself in a place where you need to see better, there's a plethora of different night vision goggles you can use, and then simply pressing the binded key, you can use those said goggles with all those animations intact. It looks phenomenal. But maybe you don't like the idea of putting on bulky headgear just to see in the dark? Well, don't worry. We got glow sticks. And again, with those amazing animations, whatever weapon you're using, you will use your hand, whether it be your offhand or just one that's available, to then equip a glow stick, which will give you a beautiful ominous glow that is, again, different than, say, pulling out a flashlight. So I think this is going to be very handy for, like, more atmospheric experiences, like maybe a horror game or something like that. Definitely really cool, and the fact... Oh, well that looks a little weird. And the fact that you don't have to equip anything, just bind the key and you'll always have this on you. Alright, so now we're going to talk about movement, and the first thing is the slide. Really cool stuff. You don't have to equip anything either, just simply sprint, press control, and you'll do a nice slide with a really cool animation of you taking your hand off your weapon. And again, this works with pretty much all the weapons that are two-handed. Well, except for the rocket launcher. Alright, are you sick of automatically picking up ammo? Do you think that you just have too much and you're starting to incorporate a hoarding lifestyle? Well, no worries, because now with this, which is going to be VManip pickup, you have to manually press E to pick everything up. But of course, you do get those ever so delightful animations every time you do it. Alright, so that had nothing to do with movement. Let's go on to the next one, and that's going to be vaulting. If you ever see something that's a little bit too high, don't worry, now you can simply vault it, with of course the accompanying animations for it. Looks really cool. I did notice that it has to be a specific height. If it's a little too big, it's not gonna work, and if it's too small, you'll just jump right over it. So for those very few obstacles that are just a little bit too big for you to jump over, this is going to be a lifesaver. And of course, sometimes you're not always jumping over a rail. Maybe it's something like this desk here. You're going to have a really cool kind of like mantle animation where you put your hand down to get up on the obstacle. And now we're down to the last mod in today's video. Have you ever gotten sick of having to switch all the way to your grenade, throw it, and then switch back to your weapon? Well, we have Quick Grenade, and again, I think I've done a video on this in the original VManip video. Simply use the key you have binded, and you can now throw grenades at any time with any weapon. Once again, just a huge lifesaver, and again, looks very good. You do take your hand off the weapon, you have the grenade, and you can even cook it too. So if you ever want to cook the grenade, well, now you have that option. So overall, VManip is one of the most impressive mods, honestly, ever in Garry's mod, in my opinion. Because it really does touch upon almost every element in Garry's mod, from things like lighting, to movement, or of course even things that don't really even make sense like manual pickup, or just being able to kick things because, well, why not? And I cannot wait to see what gets added in VManip to the future. But I'll put all these things down below, guys. If you like this video or if you like VManip, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. But as always, links will be in the description. I'll see you guys in the next video. And until next time, farewell.